Well, it's you and me, Oates. So I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute Mike.
Good morning, good afternoon, and
Yeah,
good
I'll be full
evening,
for
everybody. I'm
Oates, I think
WXFan21,
we're doing a
joined
best of
by
3.
the man, the
Is
myth,
that
the
right?
legend himself. It's Aussie101. What's up, Aussie?
Hey, WX fan. Nice to have you here with me as we try something new
That
with
is for
this speed
sure.
run. So it should be exciting. And we also got Eddie and Notes here.
Absolutely. This is going to be a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to this. So basically,
Against
what do we
Oates.
mean by speed run?
I'll
Doesn't
have
this
my.
just
I'm
mean
muting my
that,
mic.
hey, now we're going to, are isn't all races speed runs? Yes or no? So this seed has literally been around the entire month.
All right, I gotta mute my mic.
As I
So we're racing on
as I try
SpeedGaming
to like
3, I
play
think,
around, so
or
these
something
two
like
are
that.
literally aren't talking into their mics.
Yeah, it's
All right,
time
This is
to
gonna be a
start.
larger race.
Why don't they
but,
know?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people knew this was like a monthly seed
I
thing.
can't
So
we can't mute
mute
them,
them
folks.
because we're going to be using the audio once they mute themselves. But we're trying something new. It's going to be really messy. But it's a best of 3 with Eddie and Oates, and just focus on that part.
Exactly.
Everyone's
You can't,
happy.
you can't
Yeah,
go wrong with that.
thumbs up.
So what do we mean by speed run? It means that this seed has been available for the racers the entire month. You have had time to speed run what is meant to be a randomized seed. The spoiler log is there. It's how quickly can you get through a normal map rando and get and finish the game. So, from what I'm told, this should take about 20 to 25 minutes per race, and this is a best of 3. And I'm looking at all the fun spoiler logs. Aussie's posted it for you all in chat. It's something because we're getting some suits late, but a pretty interesting layout. We get big pink, green Bryn main shaft. So pretty cool stuff to get started. Then we get the Spore Spawn Supers. We get to the eye doors. We get a bunch of other stuff going on before we even get to Aussie. Let's just face it. Optional beams.
How much do you know about the route that we're going to be running? Because we've been practicing this all month, and so it's pretty decided what's going to happen.
Let's go. I'm literally looking at the spoiler log for the first time today.
Okay, cool. So I guess you get to react, and I know what's happening. I have a really solid time for the leaderboard. Celery set up leaderboards for these monthly races. Right now, Eddie is winning with a time of 23:15ish, and then I have a 23:45. And Oates was getting 25-minute times, but I don't think it's actually officially on the leaderboard. But the main hurdle is finishing a run because do you want me to spoil like the big feature of the seed of what we're expecting to
By
see?
all means, I kind of have an idea since this is really all over the place, but go ahead.
Right. So the seed is a suitless seed. So
Yeah,
it
I
means we're
thought
not
as much.
getting Varia or Gravity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
I'm still looking at the map, so that makes sense. Oh,
um,
fun. All
the
right,
game
folks.
sounds really quiet.
I hear nothing. Is that just my headset, Aussie? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, I switched it to Oates. I guess Eddie's just quiet.
Yep.
Us. So we have Morph Ball. I'm gonna ring the tracker. The tracker's not super important because it's a speedrun. Oates doing some nice tech there, airballing over the get into this room. But Fantoon is right at the bottom of Big Pink, and that'll be the first interesting thing that happens right now. This item collection. It sounds like we have lots of sound issues. But it's an Oates and Eddie best of 3, so everything's perfect.
Can't go wrong with that. So some of the interesting things, Eddie, you mentioned we're going to be fighting Fantoon first. Folks, if you take a look at your spoiler log, Ridley and Dragon are all the way in Turian, which is pretty cool. You have to go down toilet, hit Ridley, and then you got to go to Dragon. So it's a Ridley into Dragon fight. And then all the way up in Bryn, we have Kraid and Mother Brain. Pretty close to landing site here, which is really nice for the racers.
Yeah, I was on like 200%, and I'm not sure what that was. So maybe that's why I was loud. And you were turned down a little bit.
Perfect.
And this is why I'm
As
not racing. I have to run everything. There was the idea of hot swapping out racers, but well, even Oats and Eddie best of 3, so everyone's excited for that.
Absolutely. As I was
Over
joking,
here's Charge Beam.
As I've been joking with people, I'm like, the one thing that I have never been accused of is soft commentary.
Oh yeah, I get it. That brought to my attention all the time. Hopefully I'm getting better at it.
You're good, Aussie.
My commentator voice today.
There you go.
But yeah, these seeds are picked out by Stella Creek. This is the end of the month, so we're going to be ending the leaderboard submissions for this seed after today, as well as releasing the next seed. So here we have Fantoon. This is a 10 missile Fantoon, so a little bit harder than any percent. That means sometimes you can get unlucky on the missile drops, and we may not see 2 rounds.
Any percent, I believe, is a 15-5 fight, isn't it?
Yeah, 15-5. And you start with more missiles too. Entering the room.
Right.
For the speed run, this Fantoon fight is the biggest source of RNG, probably like the biggest way to just lose a lot of time. It's because it's a really fast race. Fantoon patterns make a big difference, and it's harder to get the 2 rounds.
When is Fantoon not a pain in the butt with RNG?
So there is a route, we call it Zebra route, where you do Fantoon later. You come back with full beam and you microwave Fantoon, and that is a situation where Fantoon's not so bad.
Yeah. Very nice 2-rounder from Oats. Eddie finishes Fantoon off here as well. So Oats out to the lead here. And as you mentioned, the biggest thing in this run is that it's a suitless run. So you're not going to get any of that extra protection from the suits. But 2 energy tanks and a reserve tank is fantastic. Again, you can see why these things are starting off as a 20 to 25 minute seed. In 23 minutes and change, Eddie currently the top of the leaderboard with this one.
So the next challenge will be Cathedral Room. They need to get the item in the lava and also cross the room with this amount of health. And I think everyone's practiced it enough that it's not too much of a big deal. But earlier on, it was something you had to really work on.
Now, honestly, when you ran this seed for the first time, right, before you like really got a chance to know the logic, what was jumping through your mind early game here, like these 2 runners are? What was the hardest part for you? Was it that early Fantoon? Is it this Cathedral run? What did you find really difficult?
When you're first playing a seed, you're not going to think of Fantoon as a challenge. Like your first few runs, you are baby crawling through the seed to try to like remember where everything is, and just finish. So speed isn't a concern at that point. It's not until you get a lot faster and try to actually cut corners.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was wondering if Eddie was going to make that jump because his reserve proc right when you need to press the jump button. And
yeah, Eddie's already tapped into his first reserve tank.
They're both getting a safety here. The route that they're running does not need this reserve tank. You need 6 tanks to survive Mother Brain without Variasuit. And this extra reserve is just for safety. They're going to Crystal Flash in the Mother Brain room to be at full health when that comes. Next up, we have Bubble Mountain, where they're going to pick up high jump and base jump. And they have to do a gate glitch to get through Green Hills.
Yep.
That could be a problem. It shouldn't be too much, shouldn't slow anyone down too much.
See, overall, is they had the Green Hill Zone to pick up their high jump boots. How are people liking Season 2 here on Map Rando?
Do you mean the fully random blind maps?
Fully random blind maps, all the new settings, the different changes, the random starts, the higher tier quality of life.
People have been liking it. I think the random starts make it so the beginning is a little bit more difficult and can give you trickier situations. It's kind of the negative feedback.
Yeah.
We also just did release version 115, and that gives people the ability to save custom presets and changes up how farm rooms are treated in Logic.
Love it.
Okay, so Oates is up to one of the scariest parts of the run right here, and he's trying to get above 100 health. It'd probably be safest to pause at this point. But this is West Sandhall.
Yep.
With high jump. I gotta get better at tracking. With high jump, you can do this, but if you get hit by the Avir particle, then you instantly die. Okay, so he's over 100. That means he can survive a hit.
Yep, and Eddie's right behind him. Look how fast Eddie's caught up. But Eddie's got no safety net whatsoever. 45 health. At least Oates had a reserve tank.
Yeah, farming is a really big... it's costly in the run.
Absolutely.
So you want to cut all of your corners if you can, and that's how Eddie made up all this time.
You think of racers of these caliber. Not surprising here at all. So Fire Fleas, this is going to lead into Double Chamber to get you Wave Beam, and that will eventually lead you into Plasma.
Yep. Wave and Plasma are both right here, as well as another super pack.
Yep. We got a French Vanilla Wave, too.
Indeed. So you get lots of weapon damage here. The route, like what they're currently doing in Brinstar, is heading to Kraid, and there's no way around this strip. So you pick up all the resources on the way, and that will give you all the weapon damage you need, as well as all the E-tanks to finish the seed. And so that's why the route works out fairly cleanly, and how we get a fast time.
Which is pretty cool. So this is a Red Tower into Fast Pillars, into Terminator, and then to Business Center, which is going to get you to Kraid.
Yeah, so Fast Pillars is another place you can die, because you need to fall into the acid. You don't have to, but it's hard to avoid that. And so we saw Eddie farm a little extra safety, because he has died here a few times.
I mean, you can't
and is in a bit of trouble. Okay, it did avoid the fire enemy. That might have been a death. Got hit.
Yep.
Grapple? Grapple's just there.
Yep, this is Business Center here. It's going to be Business Center drop into the Ice Beam Gate Room, Mockball Room, whatever you would like to call it. But now Oates is in the pressures to grab that last energy tank. That's 6 total. I guess if you want to consider it because of the reserve tanks. Great time.
Yep. So we should be pretty safe now until Ridley. So we got a lot of time to just chill and watch their movement.
You know, honestly, I was tuning into just scrolling on Twitch and let's see what's going on Super Metroid. I was watching one of the Rando runners, and in that recommended section was a streamer who was playing SM for the first time, and she finally completed it. And there's Oates grabbing his 5th energy tank, and she was interested, as you know, she was dealing with some of the first-time playthroughs dealing with metal pirates and some of the tricks that the game is just not nice telling you about. And I told him, like, if you're interested in the watching speedruns of it, what I sent was Oates' any percent world record and Shiny Zenny's 100% world record, because for someone that just played through the game casually, when you can see those types of world records and you see some of the tricks and everything else, you'll be like, oh, well, I could have done that easier, type of deal. So, which is pretty cool. So, love to see people still playing this game for the first time 30 years later.
Mm-hmm. It's classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game. It still has interest on his restream type channels.
Of course. I mean, you think of, like, just map rando. In my opinion, like, hey, area rando's good, Varia randomizer's great, but when Matto, yourself, and all the other developers came up with this just, it continues to revitalize an old classic game and makes it awesome. So now the racers are heading back, and again, like Aussie said, it's a suitless run. We're at 12 minutes so far for both racers. And Aussie, I smell a Ridley fight coming on.
Kind of more immediately, we have a difference in what they're doing. Eddie's damaging down, Oates is farming health up. So the next thing that you do, or at least on Eddie's route for sure, he's going to do a Crystal Flash in the ammo refill room. So that's why he's damaging down. Has 10 power bombs, but with the refill stations refilling all of your types of ammo, you can do a Crystal Flash. Oates is instead going to farm enemies on the way to Ice Beam and try to get his health to full before the Ridley fight.
And Ice Beam is right on over in Old Mother Brain Room. Now, since this is our first game here in this best of 3, Aussie, what's the response been on this new idea for speedrunning? Just a seed all month. Positive, negative, kind of mixed?
People really liked it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the second month that we're running it. So people like the idea, but it's more of a you do it once type of thing. You spend a day learning the route and get a run on the board. What we're kind of expecting with the speedrun, like making it a month long, is that you would treat it like a proper speedrun and like min-max all the room times. But the support isn't really there in the practice hack. It doesn't really apply to a map rando seed. So we can't get those super optimal room times. So that's kind of something that's missing. And otherwise, it just takes a lot of commitment to get that kind of good time. And no one really wants to do that. They'd rather just race regular seeds, which is fine. But it's a different thing that you can do, a new way to play. So it's been cool. Yeah, we're seeing Eddie right behind still. Just a couple of rooms. Eddie taking the right door of Fish Tank. He used to take the left door. Not sure why he switched. But just behind Oates. And coming up next is going to be the Ridley fight. And they do have fair health, like extra health. Don't have to play it perfectly, but it is still a very difficult fight. This will be Oates topping off his health off these crabs. So he was able to skip the Crystal Flash, but we're also kind of seeing that Eddie caught up during that time, even doing the Crystal Flash. So it doesn't really look like farming save time, even though it skips a room and a kind of long animation. But here's the fight. It is 11 shots and 14 supers. And getting hit is really bad. This really hurts. But they're both very experienced at the fight. So like
They know how to manipulate Ridley's AI into doing a lot of these pogos a lot easier to have this kind of contact. And an absolutely beautiful fight there from Oates. So for those that are unfamiliar why that fight took so short, Charge, Ice, Wave, and Plasma is the best beam combination in the entire game. It's 900 damage per charge shot.
In the case of Ridley, supers are going to be double the DPS of that still. Yeah. So that's why supers are extremely good on suitless Ridley. Anyway, they made it through directly into Dragon. And health doesn't really matter at this point in time. You just need to not die. And we did pick up X-Ray earlier for a quick Dragon fight. It doesn't matter because they intend to do another Crystal Flash.
Twitch chat continues to give me grief because I was too low. So I told them, prepare for the yelling. No, I'm kidding. I just boosted my gain, so you're good on your end. Sometimes you just gotta have fun with the viewers. So they said my volume's a heck of a lot better now. Normally when I do commentary here on SpeedGaming, I drop my gain all the way because I've got my boom arm very close to where I'm talking, so usually it picks up a little bit louder. So, all right, all 4 bosses down. We're at 18 minutes. Once again, if you check in the Twitch chat, you're going to be able to see where Mother Brain is. She's in Criteria. The racers are going to have to make their way through a couple of big rooms here to get to Criteria. So they're going to leave Uptorian, and they have to go through worst room in the game, into Main Street, and then into Croc Farm Room. Correct me if I'm wrong on that route, Aussie.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Or does it? The only part that I remember is you go up Key Hunter stairs. Right now we have Fish Tank. Eddie pulls ahead. Right here with this gravity jump. You have to do a very late jump into the door and wiggle on the overhang ledge to make it up. And O's struggling a little bit. So, falling behind. Very costly to miss.
Yeah, Oates just made it too.
Yeah. Takes the jump up to the top left door, a little extra safe too. You can do a flatly to make it up, and instead waited for the fish to come over. So now it looks like we have Eddie in the lead. Eddie is more experienced with the route, and something that can trip you up is the Crystal Flash in the Mother Brain fight.
And there's Eddie once again damaging down purposely for the ammo room for that Crystal Flash. Beautifully done. This will be a double refill on ammo. Eddie executed it beautifully. Oates right on his tail.
Yeah. Oates unfortunately got a health drop, a big health drop. So it has to damage down even more. Oh no.
Oates is getting bullied.
Well, he's not getting bullied is the problem.
No, that's the... He's getting bullied by not getting bullied.
Yeah, if you have too much health, those enemies just aren't good for damaging down. So you want to lower your health on the way. I think Oates jumped into a crab, and Eddie jumped into a pink pirate as ways to lose over 100 health in one hit. But once you're into the CAC, it's 20 at a time, and the waivers are less than that. So Eddie is going to be safely making it to all the way to Mother Brain. Does have to do Aqueduct. There's a grapple jump, and it is fairly tricky to get. But still expecting to see it first try. This is kind of the last trick that happens. After this is Zeb skipping Mother Brain. Yeah, it looks like he's up. And we're not actually going to see much farming here at the Crocomire farm room. They're going to run past and then Crystal Flash in the Mother Brain fight. But it's going to be hard for Oats to catch up from here. Really lost a lot of time in Fish Tank. Very close race up until that point. Also a very fast race. This is under 22 minutes, and we're about to get started on Mother Brain. As I said, they've been playing a little safe because it's a race. It's very easy to die in this speedrun. Like Eddie was warming up before, died like at least 3 times, just practicing the run. They just want to be sure to finish. And it's been cool that they both made it here, at least to the end.
Yep.
Because it is a hard route. I was calling out the regular death points earlier on. And I'd say it's more common to die to those than to Ridley. But Ridley... This is the suitless Ridley fight. Suitless Mother Brain fight. Eddie has the exact ammo. Yeah, pulls it off. It should be good to finish.
Oats fast damage down too in the acid.
Mostly you need to remember to not use too much ammo. So they're good on ammo. And this will be the escape. The escape's pretty short. You just come over here. You go through Everest is the most interesting part. It's Everest connected to the full halfy room. It looks like we're going to get a double finish. That's cool. I was worried about it. No one finishing. It's very nice that we get double finish.
All right, Eddie through Coliseum. That'll be it. Eddie finishes in first place here. Game 2 is on tap next. Really well done by Eddie and Oats here, honestly.
Yeah, they both played very well. They're aware of the potential problem points and played those parts safe. And this could have gone either way. Just came down to a late in the race error from Oats. Just had trouble with that one trick. And next race
Sometimes it's just one slip up. That's all it takes. All right, now we rolling right into game 2 here, Austin.
Yes. Race room's up. So whenever they want to start. I wasn't going to mark them done just yet. I'm in fact going to just clear the tracker. We don't have the regular best of 3 set up for this.
Right.
This is all just one episode on SpeedGaming. So I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to put it in a done race state.
Smart idea.
Yeah, very good race. Hopefully we get more of that into the next match. See, that was 24-minute and 24:43. Very close times and very solid. That's within a minute of record.
Yeah, chat, wake up.
We can mention that they are allowed to watch the stream, and if they want, they could chat here, but they're pretty focused. But that has been the seed. I hope everyone liked it. You can follow along with the map that I've been posting in chat. Yeah, I'll continue getting them started.
All right, chat, you've seen game one. Who do you think is going to take game number 2?
Ha! Got you, chat. Push my gain all the way up. Call me a quiet caster. Ha ha! I kid. Oh! Someone wants to gamble. Alright, who do you think's winning game 2, folks? Cat's winning game 2?
Cat stays winning.
Chat wins because it's Eddie versus Oates.
Eddie versus Oates, best of 3 in this Map Rando race live on SpeedGaming 3 here with WX Fan and myself, Aussie101. Gonna talk you through it once again from the beginning. So we start off the Brinstar main shaft room. That's where we begin the seed. The race is off, and so whenever the stream catches up, we'll be back into the action. Trackers have been cleared.
So again, folks, one thing that we're going to be looking for here, again, very early on, is that Fantoon fight for RNG. You saw it in Game 1. We'll see what happens here in Game 2.
Post the seed once again. That'll give you a map of the world, as well as where the items are. And if you know how to use the map, it also shows you where they start. And they're off. Immediately showing off the moonfall technique. You can uncap your fall speed and fall very quickly onto the Edecuns. And
You can do a lot of interesting things with the Moonfall in terms of very advanced level tricks.
You sure can. Well, we had Oates take a small lead on the way down, and then Eddie made it into the morph tunnel faster to catch back up. All these small differences, room to room. Just one of them is going to be playing it a little bit better. Going to make a different set of mistakes as they go through. So you need to get these missile pack because there's a pink door blocking supers, and then you also need bombs over there next to the supers. Bombs give you power bombs give you charge. And after all that, we're going to be fighting Fantoon, and that'll be the intro to the seed. Nice mock ball. So that was Eddie winning game 1. This is a best of 3. I didn't tell them it was a best of 3 until just before we started. I was actually planning on 2 races and swapping out to other people who join. But we have a best of 3 between Oates and Eddie, some top Map Rando runners, top Super Metroid runners, and they are staying in sync, showing off some high quality movement. You could have joined Spiffy. I said in the race time room that it was going to be a Oates Eddie best of 3. That was before Spiffy joined. I was sad because that's all that we had for runners.
Watching Spiffy race is always a good time.
Yeah. I actually wanted to put Spiffy on first because last I heard he had a safer route, and I was really worried about neither runner finishing the run. Spiffy gets speed booster and gravity suit, I believe. Those are left of high jump.
That's interesting.
Yep. Various suit is up past Mother Brain. So it's just too far out of the way to be reasonable to
there's-
get unless
it-
you need it.
Yeah, there's no point in getting it. Now, Eddie, interestingly enough, you saw Eddie grab the energy tank first. If you remember in game number 1, both racers grabbed that energy tank after the Fantoon fight. So we'll see if that comes into play here, Aussie.
Yeah, getting the E-Tank after is kind of a more recent change, I think. They were talking about it before the race. I get it before Fantoon because I take more intentional damage on the way to Fantoon. It's also better for filling the reserve if you get the E-Tank first. Tiny bit. Oat said the reason to get the E-Tank after is so you can farm the pipe bugs on the way up through Big Pink, which is pretty tricky to do. You have to shoot the pipe at just the right place so that the shot glides through the top of the pipe and hits the bug. And then you also have to jump very precisely to collect the drop and not slow down. This time Eddie, the lead, leaving Fantoon. So we'll see if Eddie just carries us all the way through for the next 20 minutes. Ends the series. Eddie would sure like to take a win over Oats. Oats, the known speedrunner. And this is a speedrun style race, really testing your mechanics. See, Oats is turning around to get the drops. I don't really like that. It is safer, and as I said last time, Cathedral is very dangerous because you need to go into the lava to get the item. So if you make... it has to be a little bit bigger than a small mistake, but you could die to that, especially if you run to the bat at the very end of Cathedral. But we are seeing that Oats does not have a full reserve, and Eddie does.
Also
we'll see
can
how
come
that
into
comes
play
into
here.
Yeah. So you powerbomb the bats in Cathedral, and they actually give 2 drops. For some reason, the rocket feet count as an extra drop, and that gives you a better chance of getting a big health. Okay, so Eddie's dead. Unfortunately, got a small energy.
Oh no! Eddie took a death.
So that is a almost 6-minute reset. This route is very punishing.
That it is.
You don't typically die in Cathedral, but I'm going to point it out every time because
Oh
it's
no, please
still
do.
scary.
Feel free to put it as Eddie's name in the little box up there. Eddie Scrub who died in Cathedral. LOL. No, I'm kidding.
Died in Cathedral.
Womp womp.
Yep, missed a jump at Cathedral. Got double hit by the bat, died.
But in a race, you always keep pressing forward.
Yep, so Oats can take this even more safely now. That's a classic slide into the crab situation, but it was on the other side of the rim this time. So Oats just needs to think about the possible death points and take those a little bit extra safe. Has 6 minutes to work with as far as the race goes. But, I don't think they're like prepped for going significantly off route to find even a save room or another E-Tank.
Yeah.
This will be high jump, next is space jump, and you're worried about the Avir in West Sand Hall. There's 3 of them. They do 100 damage. and they will double hit through your reserve, like as what happened to Eddie. So you need more than 100 health in your reserve to survive. We know where all the items are, so it's not super important to track, but I'm gonna be pressing these buttons. I've been missing quite a few, especially morph bombs. But here it is. The jumps in West Sandhall are very particular. You kill this middle one for safety, but it's actually the rightmost severe that's dangerous. Because if you pause it all on the, like going through the door, it can hit you in the door. This will be Oats picking up a full health refill.
One of the
good
important
fireball
things too. Sorry, I'll say one of the important things too, just as Oats is there, took it on purpose, hit on the fire flea to get iframes just in case he had to touch those spikes. Way less damage on the fire flea than it is on the spikes.
These items, it's also just faster. Damage boosting knocks you close to the item. Because otherwise you can space jump like they do on the way back. So here we have Wave Plasma, which is the main source of damage. The route that they are running gets Ice Beam. My route is a little different. I don't get Ice Beam.
Okay.
Because getting ice takes about a minute, but it's going to save on damage and mostly in Mother Brain with Zeb Skip. It's a lot safer and saves some time back there.
So do you go for speed then for the Zeb Skip?
No, I just don't do Zeb Skip.
Oh.
So you need to not get hit by any of the Rinkas while shooting at the Zebs. And also, I have barely enough ammo, so I reset a lot of runs in there. It is in the pillar room. You do have to go into the acid a little bit, at least the way he's playing it. But makes it through no problem, has lots of extra health.
Oh, it's looking way better on this second game than he did in the first.
Oh. Especially if you compare it to Eddie.
Mm-hmm. Here's the X-ray beam. Visor, rather.
Okay. Get X-ray to speed up the Dragon fight. It's just too much time save not to. Eddie, back in Cathedral. Does not get good big energies. It's only a problem if he runs into the bat again. Okay. So Eddie, he was watching my stream yesterday, and he saw that you can jump past the final bat. And so when he was practicing today, he took that strat, and he fumbled it earlier. And that's how he died. But this time, he didn't do that.
See if Oats can get the quick crate kill. Should have no problem with it, and no problem whatsoever. So now,
he's
like
doing the
Aussie,
crate drops.
go ahead. Mm-hmm.
If you're not doing the, like, if you're gonna do a crystal flash when you get back to Bubble Mountain, you would skip the crate drops. So that's a sign that he's gonna do the same farm to full strat again on the way back.
Eddie's going for his high jump boots.
Eddie playing well, just took a significant time loss. And just continuing to play in case Oats also takes some kind of death.
Yep. Like I said, you never ever give up in a race, no matter how far you are behind, because you don't know where your opponent is. You don't know if they stumbled. You keep going until there's a winner.
This is a best of 3 between Oats and Eddie. Eddie won the first race. So if things hold as they are, then we're going to be getting a game 3. I heard that Oats might have time constraints. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, Eddie! He dropped!
If he gets hit in this room, then he's going to get double hit and die. That's why this is a death risky room. Oats also in the room.
Okay, just gets through. Now on to Fire Fleas. A comment in chat says that we're about a minute behind. This is correct. The restream is meant to be on about a 15 to 30 second delay. And that's intentional.
Yeah, if you do watch their personal channels, you can get some future intel. You know, where they are, you know, something happens before it actually happens here.
Yep, we just ask you not to put it in chat. Please do not spoil. This is the restream one. If you want to watch their points of views, please go watch their streams. Velocity and Hyde provide race commentary here and a breakdown of this best of 3. Please and thank you. There's Oats' 15 power bombs. Moving on here to the ice beam. 14-minute ice beam. I want to say he's a little behind his pace from game 1.
They have splits on Fantoon, Kraid, and Dragon, I think. So this isn't a time point I keep track of.
No, it's not one I keep track of.
Yeah, I don't keep track of any of the time points, really.
More of a feels-like thing. Now Oats headed to fight Ridley, and then it'll be Ridley into Dragon, Dragon into Mother Brain. The seed has about 10 minutes left.
Yes, the fastest time for the seed is 23:15 by Eddie. We have a leaderboards page on the Map Rando site, managed by Selkri, where we keep track of everyone's PB on the seed. But this is a race setting, so they're trying not to die a little bit more than they're trying to go for the fastest time. So we're not really expecting anyone to beat the 23 minutes at a time. And this is just before the Ridley fight. Oats is going to top off on energy here. You want to go into Ridley with full health, but he also has that spare reserve tank, so not too much of a concern. Like has that extra 100 health. And if you take a Ridley hit, then you're dead either way. The problem with fast seeds, like fast speedruns, is you have to take more risks and cut more corners to get the fastest time, because it's more reasonable to be resetting. It's fast. And this is all the items I think we're getting. There's a super pack right in front of Mother Brain, but otherwise this is all the items.
Nice re-clear of fast pillars room on the way out for Eddie. Question in chat, no suits. That is correct.
Oats died.
No! Oats is done! Oh, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, he flubbed the grab. Ridley was rising when he jumped into the claw, and that was actually a damage instead of a grab. Eddie back in this.
Neither racer out of the woods yet.
No, Eddie still has to fight Ridley himself. Oats min-maxing this Moonfall. So at
There's
this
the
point,
damage down.
yeah, we saw Oats come through here and farm up instead of taking the refill, but Eddie does a damage down. Was a little closer on health this time, maybe? I don't know.
There you go.
It's pretty awkward to damage down, but gets it done. And then does a 10 powerbomb crystal flash here. So you spend 1 powerbomb and then you refill to 10 powerbombs. And then you can crystal flash and then refill once again. Clear the tracker. Eddie also heading off to get ice. And Eddie's who I first saw get this extra powerbomb pack and do the crystal flash at Mother Brain strat. But I think he heard that idea from someone.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, either Simo or Zeb or someone. And that's a way to skip a farm on the way to Mother Brain in the Croc farm room. It also lets them skip the second reserve tank that they've been getting as safety. Because when you go into Mother Brain's room, there's a heated room right before it, too, really. And that costs a full E-tank worth of health. So if you do a crystal flash in the room, then you're going to be at your 6 tanks for the Mother Brain fight. As I said, I don't think they've planned out any save spots or extra E-tank safeties. So...
No, not runners of their caliber. These are literally 2 of the best in the world. I'm on commentary with one of the other best in the world. You know, as much as I say save early, save often for normal seeds, this is not a normal seed. You are racing against another elite runner, so I don't see him taking a safety save anywhere. Would it have come in handy for both of them in this race? Yes. Would it have really hurt them in race 1? Absolutely.
Yeah, race 1 was very close. But also, they've been speedrunning the seed for the fastest time. And you don't take safety saves when you're doing that. So they just don't know where they are. They do have access to the spoiler map, as I've been posting into chat a few times.
This isn't like it's hidden from them. Ooh, we already have a little trouble. Alcatraz there. Gets it on the second try with no problem. All right, here we go. Eddie's turn at Ridley. Each racer already took 1 death in this game number 2 of this best of 3. Let's see how Eddie does with Ridley. You can't take a hit. It has to be a perfect fight.
Yeah, Eddie skipped the safety reserve, and they were mostly getting it for the Ridley fight. But he was trying to make back time by skipping that item. So it does need to get a really clean fight. Missed a super.
Nicely
Nice.
done.
Okay.
We'll have just enough energy. Has to hit that energy first. Eddie. Oh, pause abuse. Beautifully done. Whew. That pause abuse there, if you're newer to racing and you don't know what a pause abuse is, basically, you can pause when your energy hits 0. The game doesn't make you, kill you, and then you have, what is it, Aussie? I think like a half a second to grab an energy, and it won't count it as a death.
Yeah, it's something like that. Like half a second going to the pause screen, and then another half second from the pause.
It's a cool use of manipulation. We see it used a lot in that Ridley room there for a suitless Ridley fight.
Yeah, very common to see it in a suitless Ridley fight. Because you want to get grabbed and have your reserve eat the grab, so you're not taking damage during the entire grab animation. And that puts you at, like, I think it's 2 health when the drops appear, and that's really scary. The runners can be in chat, and I hope they're not trusting in my tracking abilities to know if they missed anything. So that is 4 bosses down for Eddie. He's gonna be on his way to Mother Brain next. Has lots of safety health for the run back to the refill spot. I shouldn't be worrying about dying. May even damage down. We saw him jump on a crab last race. This is game 2, best of 3 between Oats and Eddie.
And it is.
Yeah. If Eddie
Oats going
takes another
for
death, I don't know
hyper.
if we'll actually have a best of 3. But we'll see.
Oats may be under some sort of time constraints. He may not be able to get in the third game.
So Eddie gets another clean jump up fish tank.
Beautifully done.
Normally you see that wiggle jump in any percent if you miss the regular jump. Because in any percent it is a frame perfect jump, but if you do the wiggle, then you can use a couple of frames, maybe 2 more, and still make it up. And that has applications in more places. And that's what Map Rando's about. Applying tricks to all the rooms where you don't normally see the tricks used.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Oats into the West Sandhall. Very spooky, the way he just fell on top of it, but he's alive. Gonna reset the room, it looks like. If he gets hit in the room, it is a death, because he'll be double hit. If he gets hit in the door, then he can live. And the Radovir does like to hit you in the door. That was scary. I think his super was eaten, even if he did.
Yeah. Oats, please.
Yeah, the particle will destroy your super. It makes it through. Like, Eddie isn't in the clear. I think he just hit a key hunter. Those do 200 damage at a time.
Only.
And only 200. And still has to go through Screw Attack Room, so actually needed that energy. But the big, scary part that remains is the Mother Brain fight. So the Mother Brain fight, you do have to do Zeb Skip, but mainly you need to remember to keep your ammo high so you can Crystal Flash, and you need to do the fight without taking damage, or much damage. They run it with a reserve active, so they're able to survive a hit if they do take one. But that is the last obstacle.
And the true last obstacle is just the Mother Brain fight itself.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too crazy here, Aussie, other than, again, making sure you get that Crystal Flash at the right time. That's all.
Yep. Gonna want to count your shots to know when the fight ends, so that you have time to actually pull off the Crystal Flash before Rainbow Beam hits.
Question in chat, why do they have the necessary map tiles uncovered? Is this some kind of NG plus feature?
Do you have the answer to that?
So when you enter a room, it becomes available to you. And I believe with this is the monthly speedrunning seed, everything's already available.
Not quite.
I was close, maybe?
So the map's available because when you reveal a tile on the map, it's going to save it to all of your other save files.
Oh.
And they've already played through the seed before. So it saved only the tiles that they've already seen.
Got it.
And then to start a new one, a new playthrough, they're going to copy over their save file.
That makes sense. The tiles copy with it. Good to know.
Eddie alive? Question mark.
Gets it.
Yeah. He did take a hit off the reserve, but gets it, and that'll be a clear. And no issue finishing from here. It's just a matter of racing the timer. But you do get an autosave in the escape.
All right, as long as Eddie doesn't make any mistakes, this is going to be a 2-0 best of 3 here in favor of Eddie, who is the current record holder here for this November monthly speedrun. Monthly seed speedrun. Try saying that 10 times fast. Oates gets Crumble Shaft Energy Tank.
We're hearing that people like the Crystal Flash in the Mother Brain fight, and that's kind of the idea of these speedrun seeds, is you come up with strats that you never
nice.
Before.
Nice, hitting the full halfie.
Yeah, that saves 2.5 seconds over what you did last race.
Beautifully done. Eddie wins this best of 3, 2-0. GG's to both racers.
So it's going to forfeit here, and hopefully the bot does know how to send them invites, and they can join us here if they want to. But they could have been in the chat all along.
It could have been
allowed. But this has been the monthly seed, handpicked by Selkry. It is also the end of the month. We're going to get another monthly seed tomorrow/tonight. And then we can start all this again. Today we're just trying out different types or different ways of playing Map Rando, like showing it off to people on SpeedGaming. See what they think. And this has been a speedrun style playing. And we'll see what we do in the future.
For sure. Looks like we're going to have Eddie on commentary. Again, we know Oates had a time constraint. Oh, but Oates is coming as well. Excellent.
Yeah. I don't know if he actually has a time constraint.
We have
Someone
no
said
idea.
it. Therefore, it's truth.
Hashtag internet.
Hashtag one guy.
Yeah. Hashtag some guy on the internet. Here are our racers. What's up, Eddie and Oates? GG's.
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 Yep, GG's, both of you. Congrats to Eddie on your 2 wins.
Thank you.
Congrats to not getting your butt kicked in Sand Hall. My goodness, making us sweat over here that second time through.
Yeah.
Well, my second time through, I actually did kind of get my butt kicked through, but obviously, you know.
It was both of you that fell in once?
Yeah.
Were you both watching the restream? Or
I was watching Oates' stream because less delay in that case.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the moment I saw I felt kind of bad. I was kind of thinking like, I guess like we could have taken a save or something like that, but I don't even like know where the save points are.
I didn't know where the saves were, so
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Ridley fight went fine. I had plenty of health, and I jumped into Ridley's claws, and Ridley must have been slightly moving upwards.
Yeah.
And I just got hit, and then once you're hit once, you get double hit, so it's GG. Yeah.
He's gonna body you for like for what, like 160 or something. So it's like if he touches you, you're basically done without the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 6 scam.
Yeah, it was nice, but oh well.
Yeah, I was telling Oates like in the race room in the beginning of that race, I was like, okay, I'm screwed because I don't remember what pattern I got, but it was like also a 4 round, I think.
Right.
And then I see that, and then I was a little bit ahead, a little bit behind, just because I grabbed the E-Tank that time, and so he was gonna, by nature he's gonna be like slightly ahead, but I was expecting to be like massively far behind, and then I see he gets like the worst patterns of all time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I kept getting right slows and then instant eye close. I couldn't hit the eye. So
I don't know if our webcams were on there. Maybe they weren't, but like I was like looking. I was like, "This is ridiculous." I don't remember what happened to me, and then I look over and I see you're doing the same face. You're like, "What is this?" Pointing at your webcam, going like, "What is this?"
Unfortunately, we missed that. I don't have webcams on this
Yeah.
layout. It's only the tournament layout that had that, or the SGL layout specifically.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of sad. If there was like a nearby save, then it's obviously that was just, it was his win for free. Like he could have died like 3 times and he still would have been able to win. Then we would have had that game 3. But yeah, sorry, it's kind of.
I mean, with these monthly seeds, this is kind of a brutal one, because anytime we're gonna have some sort of anytime we have any like Hell Runs or Variolus, and then we're doing Variolus Ridley, we're also trying to like optimize and get less E-Tanks.
Yep.
Or fewer E-Tanks, so it's brutal, right? Like
exactly.
So hopefully next month is a little bit nicer. Maybe we'll get speed boost or gravity or something.
Yep. Maybe we'll just get an annoyingly routed but really comfortable seed where we just have like everything.
Yeah. The worry is that I was just gonna make you do a really tough trick like the Shack Tool Crystal Flash clip that we did do last month.
Mm-hmm. That one wasn't like the worst, because you do get like 5 tries, and it was the bomb variation where the frame windows.
I'm sure there will be something that will be like really.
Technical. It's interesting how these all work out, right? Because the first seed, it's like we get the Varia, and then the gravity's not too far. And then the second seed, at first glance, looked like really like, oh, this is gonna be a spicy one. And I actually I do enjoy like playing it, because it's a kind of a challenge, right? We got to do a lot of tight like tricks and stuff like that. But the first one, I think overall was more interesting, because there's a lot of discussion on what you can skip. There's optimal things that neither of us were doing, or none of us were actually doing, because it was like really complicated, like the no high jump baby skip and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting how I guess you never really know how these optimal routes really work out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I enjoyed this month's seed a lot. It's just challenging gameplay, but you have a route and you just execute it well. And then, as you said, last month did have a lot of discussion about the best route, and there were kind of 2 very different routes on the leaderboards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it. It looks like Oates was ahead of me in both games. First game, unfortunately, he looks like the grab jump kind of. It's interesting.
Yeah,
how
I
these
forgot
runs...
what was coming up, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is water, and then I wasn't holding down left, I guess, the second time, so I had to reload it again, and then,
It's crazy how I felt really behind you for so long, because I got like I really botched my Fantoon fight. And so I'm like playing, I'm like, all right, I'm doing everything fine, and I'm just like not catching up to you the whole time, right? And all it takes is just one thing like that, and then that's it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how speedrunning works and racing works, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then hopefully in the future we can get like practice hacks of these seeds and get the sweaty strats going.
that's you, Aussie. You and your sweaty strat. I was telling Oates, like, this guy Aussie last night was sweating. He's like pulling out like hundo strats and like unique strats that I've never seen before for the speed.
The best part was you falling on that Kadora for missing that strat.
I took that strat from you, and I thought I had enough run speed, and I didn't make it. So I'm blaming that one on you, Aussie.
Yeah, and then you stopped doing it on the run back.
Yeah, I just took my super zone, just started blasting. Yep, I didn't trust it.
Yeah, well, hopefully next month has hopefully we get like spring ball and speed or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah, spring ball through a whole seed, that'd
definitely
that'd be great. Yeah, if we can get like spring ball at the very start with speed, then that makes some really fun strats.
Seliker, you're hearing it right now. We need spring ball, because if that's one thing that's missing, if there's one thing that's missing from any percent, or just speedruns in general, we almost never get spring ball because it's behind Shack Tool. And that spring ball is so cool. The movement you can do with it is so sick.
It's a lot of fun. There's infinite possibilities with spring ball speed kind of combinations. So
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, thanks to both of you for coming on. The first race in particular, just very clean. You both made it all the way through, so that was a really good showing. I was really happy with how that worked out, and we got our 2 matches, which made for good time slot without overstaying our time here. So thanks to both of you, and also WXFan for helping me out with the comms.
My pleasure.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you. GG.
All right, folks. So that's going to do it for us. Let's get us on out of here. For Eddie, for Oats and Goats, for Aussie, I'm WXFan21 saying we'll see you.